Wells and enlisted. My first assignment after I finished basic training was the Tarrant Air Force Base, it was called, in Fort Worth at that time. It's still there. And after I was there about 6 months, I got orders that I was going overseas, but I didn't know where. So we went by train to Florida. We caught a plane there and we flew to Puerto Rico, South America, Ascension Island, which is in the middle of the Atlantic, then to Africa. And we flew all the way across Africa. Air bases, we'd fly about, we had 23 people on the plane and all their luggage. And we'd fly about to one air base to another, about, I don't know how many miles it'd be, about 1,000 miles each way. And finally, after about 10 days, I reached Karachi, India. Now, at that time, India was governed by England. They hadn't split up yet. And I was at Karachi on the base there and for about 2 weeks, and the Air Transport Command cut us orders to go to Assam, India, which is right on the Himalayan mountains. Here's a Himalayan, here's Assam, and it was Chabua Air Force Base. And I'll show you a picture of the, you want to see the picture of the, it's most unusual. Don't record it right now, just a minute.
All right. So how old were you whenever you were deployed?
About 21.
21. Did you volunteer or were you drafted?
Yeah, I volunteered.
Wow. What motivated you to want to join the military?
The war was getting so intense at that time and expanded that they were trying to hire people, and they were encouraging people to volunteer.
You said you left behind a wife of 1 year?
Huh?
You left behind your wife who you were married to for 1 year?
Yeah.
So
she stayed with her mother and dad in Fort Worth.
How often did you get to come back and see her and see family?
Nearly 3 years. I didn't get back till went over in 43 and I returned in 1945.
Wow. So how'd you deal with that? Did you send letters or?
Yeah, we had the, I guess it's equivalent to an email.
Oh, okay, like a telegraphs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you this one picture here.
What would you do like on a normal day on the base?
Well, I was a control tower operator. I worked in the control tower.
Mm-hmm.
And planes would take off and land at our command. You know, they'd call in, say they were wanted to land and they were on the base leg, downwind, final leg, and landed. And we'd work about an 8-hour shift. It was open 24 hours a day, the towers were. Yeah. There were 3 of them in China. Kunming, Luzhou, and Xinjiang. And the rest of China was controlled by Japan, and our duty was to try to keep them from invading all of China. And they had most of Burma under control, and we didn't want them to expand on into India, so the Indian Army and the American Air Force were fighting them.
Yeah.
Here's a regular tower. You don't need it.
So that's not what you were in, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not the one I was first in. Here's another one. This is in New Delhi.
Okay. Do you mind if I look at that?
But I'll show you that one. I'll be coming back to New Delhi. I'm hitting Karachi, and then I'm going up to Assam. I'm up in the Assam part of India, which is right
next to the Himalayas.
Yeah, okay. That's another one. There's the Taj Mahal. I'll show you that later if you want to see.
Did you make any friends whenever you were over there?
Huh?
You made a lot of friends when you were over there, or
A lot of pictures?
or no friends like with
Oh,
people
yeah.
that you?
Well, I had quite a few, yeah. They're not around now. Most of them are not. But there's a tower. We didn't have a building and the construction to get it up. So the tower, we had to climb up the tree, and there's a tower up there.
Wow.
This is the same.
So you would be in a tree?
Yeah.
Wow.
Later on, we got one built, got out of the tree.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was up there at this location for about a year and a half. We lived in tents, and I'll tell you, I'll get to that in a minute. Okay.
I guess you got to saw a lot of new areas.
You can only see Mount Everest, which was 27,000 feet high, at daybreak. The rest of the time it was covered by clouds.
Yeah.
And if we were up in an airplane high enough, we could see it. In fact, I rode one time on a horse in the dark till I could get up at daybreak and see it.
Wow.
And that's a picture. You can hardly tell it's what it is.
So is that the mountain, or?
Here's a Himalayan mountain. There may be others in here. Now, what we did there, our main job was to keep Japan taking the rest of China. They had about half of it. And we had a bunch of fighter planes up there called the Flying Tigers, and we had to transport gasoline to them. The Chinese couldn't make the gasoline. So we'd fly over the hump each day, about 50 of these transport planes, and they'd each hold 50 drums of gasoline to keep the Chinese and the American planes going.
Yeah.
And that was our main job. And we lost about a plane a day because those planes couldn't fly up as high as the highest peaks of the Himalayas, so they had to fly like this, get from China to India and back and forth.
Zigzag.
So they were flying between the peaks. Okay, yeah.
I could take that for you.
Okay, you can just sit.
Do you want me to sit over there?
Well, we'll be getting it again here in a minute.
Okay.
Just sit there with my hat or whatever you wanted to on the divan.
So whenever I was on the, whenever I was looking for veterans to interview, and I saw your name on the Carrollton website, I saw that you had earned the Bronze Star Medal.
Well, I've got.
I think.
Hand me that thing on top right there.
All right, there you
There's
go.
a couple of things in here I want to show you. And this is the Bronze Star Medal. Now, what we would do. On the back of our flying jackets, they'd sew this on there.
And what does that mean?
And that means America is helping us win the war, save them. And if it went down, got shot down by the Japanese, the Chinese civilians would try to hide them and smuggle them back, free them.
So they wouldn't be prisoners of war?
So they wouldn't be prisoners of war.
Do you mind if I take a picture of that?
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
Awesome.
So that slip right there is from the war.
And this, I'll tell you about this in a minute.
That's really interesting. Go.
Okay, what happened after I'd been up there at this base for about a year and a half, an officer came through from New Delhi, capital of India, to check on our base up there, and he found my name and the 5 other guys that had flown over with me. And they said, well, we've been looking for you for a year. You were supposed to go from Karachi to New Delhi, but they changed the orders because they'd opened a new base up there on us. So that was one of those kind of things where you were needed bad, but it wasn't where you were supposed to go in the first place. So then they transferred us to New Delhi, capital India, and we worked in the control tower there. And we had an Englishman, and an Indian, and an American working at the same time in the control tower, because we had those 3 different airplanes coming in and out all the time. And we could get a picture of it. I don't think you need to, standing around the tower. And stayed there for about a year and a half. And they gave exams for officers training school. And while I was in high school, I was in the ROTC, Reserve Officers Training Corps, high school. Mm-hmm. And so 75 of us passed the exam, and we took a train to Bombay, India, from New Delhi. It took about 3 days on the train. And we got there, and we were going to be shipped from Bombay to New York. And in fact, one day we were just getting exercise, and I saw Mahatma Gandhi and his staff walking on the beach there in Bombay. I mean, even got a picture here somewhere if you want to see it. And but then the ship pulled in, but they called us all in, and they said, we have enough pilots now, your orders are canceled. And I'd went and written to my wife, been gone over 2 years. I was coming home, and I had to write and tell her, I won't be there now. So from there, I was transferred to 10th Air Force Headquarters, which was about 40 miles out of Calcutta, India. Mm-hmm. And that operated, that was a headquarters for all the China, Burma, Indian Air Force. Mm-hmm. And let's see if there's anything else there I want to tell you. Well, I would work out of there, and I'd travel to all around India and up to China, because we had a responsibility of the control tower, the homing beacons where they could find the airport, and point-to-point communications, both voice and key. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was on my last assignment, and worked out of there, and stayed there nearly another year or 2. And then I got selected to be on the first ship. I flew over, but I came back on a troop ship out of Calcutta. And they're designed to carry 3,000 soldiers, but they were trying to get us back so quick they put 5,000 on the troop ship to ride all the way from Calcutta, India to New York. And in fact, going through the Red Sea, the minister of our battalion stopped, and he held a service because he estimated this was where Moses took the Israelites across the Red Sea from Egypt back to Europe. But anyway, it took us about 30, 35 days to get back on the ship.
Wow.
I've got a picture of that too, but anytime you want a picture, well, but maybe you don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we got back there and took a train from there to Wichita Falls, Texas, and got my discharge, which I have here too. And
now I wanted to ask you, where'd you get that, or why'd you get that? What'd you hold it in your hand?
do I want to hold on to that?
No, how'd you get that, or what'd you do to get that?
Like, what's this
So
about?
I just got, I got the Bronze Star Medal. All these jobs, I was getting promoted when I first got over there, and I earned it while I was in India.
Oh, so that was like a promotion?
Well, yeah, I came from Carpo up to one. All you get takes about a year to get one of these stripes.
Yeah.
And I got them as I went over there.
Okay.
And this is my dog tags. My dog tag number was 18-176-793. I can remember that
Still
for 50
remember it.
years. And this is the Bronze Star Medal.
That's really cool.
So in order to earn that, so what does somebody do to earn the medal?
Well, I can see if I had it. What they. It was for duty over and above the normal call of duty.
Wow, so like exceeding expectations, I guess.
I only had one vacation the whole year I was over there,
Yeah.
and that for a week. And this is a good conduct medal.
The blue one with the gold trim.
Yeah.
So you got two of those, or?
No, I was for.
Two of those is one.
Yeah. And this is a regular medals for CBI.
What's CBI?
China, Burma, and India.
Oh, okay. Easy question. I should. And what about that top?
Well, I think that's a small one for this.
Oh, okay. That's the one you would actually wear on your
Yeah, on my.
uniform?
Yeah.
So was there anything about being overseas that you enjoyed? Like, was it the sightseeing of the mountains and everything, or was there anything that you actually found pleasurable?
Well, yeah.
It wasn't downtime all the time, was it?
It wasn't downtime all the time. No,
Yeah.
I was. In fact, I always felt like I was lucky I didn't go to Europe
Yeah.
for hand-to-hand combat all the time over there.
So did you, as part of the Air Force, did you see any hand-to-hand combat, or was it all just commanding the planes and routing and?
No, we'd have bombing raids on our bases in China.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I could even get a picture of that if you needed it. But and so we had bomb shelters at all of our airports. In fact, one other incident, if I'm bored, you now, it's not me, but at the air base there in China, this Japanese bomber would come over and cuss us out and say we're going to get killed and try to make us mad. But he would fly so high that our P-47 fighter planes couldn't get up there and shoot him down. But finally, after about 2 or 3 months, we got a P-51 fighter in, And when he came on the next morning, bang, he was gone.
Wow.
There's stuff like that that's different. In fact, one time, I won't bore you, but real briefly.
No, you're fine.
When we were flying across Africa, and we'd spend the night at these bases, one night we rented some horses to see what the tribes in Africa were like. We got out there, and these women had those big lips. My God, I couldn't understand them. I don't know how they lived with that. You very seldom see a picture of it.
With
yeah. And
you got to explore a lot of places of the world.
huh?
You got to explore a lot of places of the world. That's
right.
Really cool.
And even though it was over there a long time, my wife and I both were happy that I got home safely, and that was the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you other things. One time we were advancing, and the English army had pushed the Japanese in Burma back away from India, and we were opening new air bases. And I went down and opened one about 100 miles inside of Burma. And then they got pushed on back, and we were going to have another air base we were going to get, so we'd be close to Rangoon, Burma. And I couldn't go that time, and the plane went down, and it crashed and killed everyone on them. We had those kind of incidents, and I was lucky to miss a lot of them, but they happened off and on. And I don't know what else I could tell you. If you want to look at any pictures in that red book, you can.
That would be interesting, actually.
Okay. Well, why don't you two sit together there and on that?
Here, let me see if I had a list of questions. Let me pull that up.